The Western Conference is filled with competitors, shooters, defenders, and one of the best athletes in the NBA. It's obviously the toughest conference to play in because you got players on a daily basis, teams on a daily basis that are competing for NBA championships. They're competing to go to the finals, and there's so many teams out there that are capable of doing it in the Western Conference. You got some of the best defenders. You got Draymond Green, a Klay Thompson. You got a Kawhi Leonard. You got so many freakish athletes in the Western Conference. It's so much harder to win on a daily basis because it seems like every other game you're going up against a title contender. You're going up against the Clippers. You're going up against the Spurs. And it's just so much harder in the Western Conference. You got a good team, the San Antonio Spurs, who might be getting older, but it still seems like they're getting better. They're figuring out stuff. They got LaMarcus Aldridge. They got Kawhi Leonard, Tony Parker. Western Conference, say it is the much harder conference between the East and the West. Next, taking a look at the Denver Nuggets. They were a team at one stage that were taking very seriously. They were competing to getting into the Western Conference Finals. They had Carmelo Anthony at one point. But ever since then, this team is really taking a toll. They've been in the rebuilding phases. They went out and got Emmanuel Mudiay, who's in the range of being the next Russell Westbrook in 2K. He's just got that freakish athleticism, and I think he's definitely going to be the MVP of this series for us, as he's just our best player overall. Is a very good defender. If we could just work on his outside shooting, he will definitely be a top guard in the NBA, and hopefully lead us to an NBA Finals. They also got guys like Kenneth Faried, who is the heart soul of this team, who I feel like has to be our Draymond Green, because the style of centers and power forwards are changing. They have to shoot threes, so who knows what he's going to be doing for us this year. Might be getting traded, but I want him to be like a Draymond Green, passing, rebounding, and pushing the basketball. Like I said, Emmanuel Mudiay is the main reason why I picked this team, just to build this team around him. He's a heck of an athlete, and I think he has so much more room to grow. We just need to add pieces around him, and Emmanuel Mudiay will be on his way with this team. But they also got tons of other players. They got obviously Kenneth Faried, who I said wants to be the heart and soul of this team and needs to be. And we also have some nice veteran type players, and also is surrounded well with the young players as well as veteran players. We got Jokic, who is kind of gets confused with Jokic, but he's definitely the better one out of him. He puts up like 11 and 8 every game. They also got guys like Nurkic, who just hits the mid-range jump shot, and Kenneth Faried, like I said, he's going to hit them offensive glass and defensive glass, and that's what we're going to be paying him to do. Doing all of that, and they obviously went out in that last year's draft, went out and got Jamal Murray, who has the potential of being one of the best shooters in the NBA. They also got their vets in Jameer Nelson, Wilson Chandler, and Wilson Chandler at his age can still do a lot. Obviously is not the best defender. He's basically just going to score for our team and do whatever we ask. So we're very excited for this team. And also we have Nikola Jokic out here. He has a very good mid-range jump shot, and he's good back to the basket, but we're going to try to work on his three-point shooting as well as his mid-range jumper, because if we can improve on those two things, he will be very good. And obviously he's going to be a starter in our opening game. I just want to develop him as well as Nurkic, get those two players up, and hopefully they can have very bright careers here in Denver. Also, we have Nurkic, who doesn't have the best stamina, so he can't be on the floor at all times. He doesn't have very good stamina, working on his mid-range jumper, as well as Jamal Murray, who's one of the best shooters in the last year's draft. And we have him starting probably at shooting guard, have him playing off-ball around Emmanuel Mudiay, which would be an ideal situation, because right now he needs to figure out if he's a point guard / shooting guard. For right now, we're going to use him as a shooting guard, but he might be a sixth man on this team because he does provide a lot of scoring, something we do not have on this team. And he probably more than likely will be starting, but more than likely will be being our sixth man later in the series if we don't bring in some more guys. So Jamal Murray is a huge piece, as well as Kenneth Faried. Like I said, the world of power forwards and centers are changing. Either he has to improve his three-pointer and mid-range jumper. He's not a back-to-the-basket guy. And then our guy, Danilo Gallinari. For right now, he's going to be coming off the bench because we need his scoring. We have no scoring on this team, as Jamal Murray is going to get the start in our opening game. But Danilo Gallinari, I don't think he's hit his ceiling yet. I think he can put up 20 a game on this team, and I'm very excited for what this team has to bring.